rewind like 5 months prior to the Battle of Leyte. MacArthur is still headquartered back in Australia, and he finds out that there are a bunch of guerrilla groups all over the Philippines, especially on the main island of Luzon. Now, these guerrilla fighting units kind of operated like gangs. Each one had their own little chunk of territory, and they all weren't very friendly with one another because they were all kind of competing with one another to get aid from the US military to be able to fight the Japanese better. So they were very disorganized, but some units were much more organized than others. So General MacArthur figures that if he can send somebody in there to help organize the guerrillas and then get them more supplies and more weapons, they'll be softening up the Japanese from the inside, so by the time the US forces reach Luzon, it won't be as hard of a fight as it needs to be. So he starts taking volunteers, starts poking around. Finally, he figures out the guy that he wants to send in, and it's this badass major by the name of Jay Vanderpool. So he takes Vanderpool, sends him off to do a bunch of training in like how to set up long-range communication, how to set up communication networks, basically the quick and dirty on how to be a fucking spy. So that training takes about 2 months. We are now 3 months away from the Battle of Leyte, and Jay and a couple of other guys are now going to get snuck into Luzon by submarine and dropped off on the island. They have one person they can link up with for a connection, but basically their standing orders are, and I quote, "Do what will best further the Allied cause. Signed, General MacArthur." Literally the top dog of the US military. The only person with more authority than General MacArthur at this point is the President of the United States, okay? This dude's orders are basically the golden ticket, the blank check of do whatever you want, just be a menace to the enemy. So first order of business, he finds out who the best guerrillas on Luzon are, and it's this group called Hunters ROTC. It's ran by a bunch of ex-Filipino army guys that are actually coordinating their men like an actual military. They have a chain of command, they have order, they actually do military tactics, they are conducting legitimate guerrilla warfare, and they are fucking good. They've got 2,500 men, and they are a gigantic pain in the Japanese ass. So Jay needs to get linked up with them, get them more organized, and get them more supplies, more guns, more ammo, more food, more water, more everything. He needs to hook these guys up so they can be an even bigger pain in the ass. The problem is they're like 60 miles away on the other side of the island, and Jay is like a 5'10" white guy. All the other white people have been thrown in internment camps, and on top of that, he's wearing a US military uniform. The odds of him making it 60 miles through enemy territory on this island, not looking too great. So what's Jay gonna do? I mean, the meatheads are probably like, he could just walk there through the jungle, avoid the roads, don't go into town, he'll get there in 2 weeks, it'll be fine, he'll get the job done. Other people are like, he could probably, pay somebody to drive him there in a trunk, smuggle him in, that would be an option. Jay Vanderpool is just like, nah, I'm gonna go just complete gangster option. I'm gonna walk to the nearest town, go to a payphone, I'm gonna call up a fucking limo to drive me there. So that's what he does.